Welcome directly to AI Paper Podcasts. Today we are looking at SkillOS, Learning Skill Curation for Self-Evolving Agents, by researchers from UIUC, Google Cloud AI Research, and MIT.
Really excited to get into this one.
Same here. So let's jump right into the 1-minute summary. LLM agents right now are currently stuck as one-off problem solvers.
Right, they don't really learn from past runs.
Exactly. To self-evolve, they need to learn from streaming tasks, but manual skill curation is just this massive bottleneck. So the solution presented in this paper is SkillOS,
which is a multi-agent framework.
Yep. It pairs a totally frozen agent executor with a trainable skill curator. And using an experience-driven reinforcement learning recipe, that curator learns to manage a repository of markdown-based skills.
It uses basic insert, update, and delete operations to do that.
Right. And by grouping training tasks based on skill dependencies and using composite rewards, the system turns delayed downstream feedback into really powerful learning signals.
The results are honestly pretty staggering.
Yeah, SkillOS beats strong memory-based baselines in both agentic and reasoning benchmarks. And a small 8B curator can even generalize to guide massive proprietary models like Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Which is wild to think about.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the promise of self-evolving agents is arguably the holy grail of current AI research. But getting there requires solving a really foundational memory problem.
Yeah, the structural barrier we hit right now is procedural memory. I mean, if you are an ML engineer trying to build autonomous agents today, you already know the absolute pain of deployment.
Oh, for sure. The prevailing paradigm just relies so heavily on manually curated skills.
Exactly. You look at something like Anthropic's computer use skills repository.
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful, but it requires highly paid human expertise to build, structure, and constantly maintain.
Right, or you might try to rely on rigid heuristic-based prompting to manage the memory.
Which is just as bad. Those heuristics are essentially hard-coded guesses. They completely lack any dynamic downstream performance feedback.
It's so true. Think about the last time you tried to get an agent to remember a really complex workflow. We've built this incredibly smart worker, but they suffer from severe short-term memory loss.
Anterograde amnesia, basically.
Yeah. Every single morning, they walk into the office and have to figure out how to use the espresso machine entirely from scratch.
Just staring at the buttons every time.
Right. I mean, they can read the manual, like the system prompt, but they can't extract a reusable, generalized skill from yesterday's struggle. They just keep executing one-off tasks, making the exact same mistakes.
Until they eventually brute force a success. What's fascinating here is that procedural memory, that actual how-to knowledge distilled from past interactions, is the essential substrate for evolution.
And previous RL approaches have tried to tackle this, right?
They have, but they fundamentally optimized for short-horizon skill adaptation. So they were teaching models to select pre-existing skills more efficiently, or maybe optimize a very short sequence of actions.
So within just a single episode.
Exactly. What they failed to do was learn complex, long-term curation policies. Because the feedback in the real world is inherently delayed and, frankly, incredibly indirect.
Oh, I see. So if an agent learns a nuance about, say, parsing a messy database table on task 10,
it might not actually reap the reward of that knowledge until task 100.
And that is exactly the bottleneck SkillOS is designed to break. To solve this long-term memory problem, the researchers actually borrowed a very old concept from traditional computer science.
The separation of concerns, right?
Exactly, separating the execution environment from the file management system. They built a really modular design. They keep the agent executor completely frozen.
So it just runs the tasks.
Yep, whether it's an open source model or an API call to Gemini, it just executes. Meanwhile, they train a separate, dedicated skill curator.
And the medium they use for these two to communicate is just brilliant in its simplicity. They use a skill repo where individual skills are stored as basic markdown files.
Which is wild when you think about it.
It really is. For anyone listening who has spent the last year drowning in vector databases, it's worth pausing here. These aren't opaque, high-dimensional vector embeddings floating in some latent space.
Right. They are just structured, human-readable text files.
Exactly. With very specific, hard-coded sections. Name, description, workflow, and crucially, when not to use section.
I love that when not to use section. It really grounds the abstraction so perfectly. It basically stops the agent from applying a hammer to a screw.
It's such a necessary guardrail.
So is it fair to say this architecture is basically like giving the agent a local Git repository? Like the trainable curator is effectively making commits.
That is the perfect analogy. The curator is doing explicit file I/O operations, insert skill, update skill, delete skill, to continually edit the agent's external brain.
So how does the actual loop work? Let's walk through the mechanics for just a single task.
Sure. The frozen executor receives the prompt. It immediately retrieves relevant skills from this markdown repository using a static TopK BM25 search.
Wait, so just traditional keyword matching? Nothing fancy, no dense neural embeddings, just finding the markdown files that statistically share the most relevant terms with the prompt.
Precisely. It's a classic TF-IDF-based ranking. So the executor pulls those TopK markdown files into its context window, uses them to complete the task, and that entire process generates an execution trajectory.
Whether it succeeds or fails.
Exactly. It succeeds, it fails, it hallucinates, whatever happens, it gets logged. Then the trainable curator steps in offline.
Okay, so it evaluates that trajectory after the fact.
Right. It decides what, if anything, needs to be committed back to the repository. Does a brand new file need to be inserted because of a novel problem?
Or does an existing file's workflow need an update because it found a shortcut?
Yes. Or did a retrieve skill actively mislead the executor, meaning it needs to be deleted entirely?
Conceptually, I mean, having a Git repository makes total sense, but mechanically teaching an LLM to manage it autonomously using RL feels like an absolute nightmare.
It is notoriously difficult.
Especially because of that delayed reward problem you brought up earlier. How do you mathematically train a policy on an update operation made today when the payoff might be next Tuesday?
That is the core technical achievement here. Having a repository is one thing, but training it requires a specific experience-driven RL recipe.
Because if you just train on a random stream of tasks, the signal-to-noise ratio is way too low, right?
Exactly. So the researchers deliberately grouped the task streams based on skill-relevant dependencies to form an explicit curriculum.
Oh, interesting. So they arrange the tasks.
Yeah, they arrange them. So earlier trajectories are used exclusively to force the curator to update the skill repo, and then later related tasks evaluate those exact updates.
Wait, let me push back on that mechanics a bit. Grouping the tasks so the curriculum makes sense is a clever data engineering trick.
Sure.
But mechanically, inside the RL algorithm, how does the system actually attribute a success on downstream task B all the way back to a specific update made during task A? The math behind that attribution just seems incredibly noisy, even if you group the tasks.
You're not wrong. The attribution is inherently noisy. That's why their composite reward design and the specific RL algorithm they chose are the linchpins of the whole system.
What algorithm did they use?
They use GRPO, Group Relative Policy Optimization. But the crucial detail, and this is where it gets really interesting, is that they deliberately discard the KL divergence term.
Hold on, what? If you drop the KL penalty entirely, doesn't the curator just start generating completely unhinged text to game the reward system?
Normally, yes.
Right, because the whole point of KL divergence is to prevent the model from deviating so wildly from its original policy that it suffers catastrophic collapse. How do they stop it from just hallucinating infinite markdown files?
By heavily engineering the environment's composite reward function. Dropping KL divergence actually encourages aggressive, wild policy exploration.
Which I guess you need if you wanted to discover complex curation strategies.
Exactly, rather than just regurgitating its base weights. So to prevent collapse, the reward isn't simply a binary signal of task success.
What is it then?
The curator receives positive signals for making valid function calls, meaning the JSON syntax of the update or insert is actually executable. It gets rewarded for the quality of the skill generated. And critically, it receives a penalty based on the overall compactness of the skill repo.
Ah, a compactness penalty, so that is the regularization mechanism.
Yep. It forces the model to edit and consolidate rather than just hallucinate an infinite scroll of useless text. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this curriculum design artificially forces long-term utility to become immediate, trainable feedback.
Okay, that makes sense. The curator mathematically learns that keeping a lean, highly optimized repo yields higher returns than just hoarding every single trajectory into a new file.
Exactly. It has to pay a cost for repository bloat, which forces it to utilize the update function to actually merge knowledge.
So the RL recipe sounds airtight in theory. They solve the attribution problem by grouping tasks and swapping KL divergence for that compactness penalty. But how does it actually perform?
Really well. They tested SkillOS across a great mix of environments. Multi-turn agentic tasks like ALF World, which simulates embodied household tasks, and WebShop for e-commerce.
And they paired those with single-turn reasoning tasks too, right?
Yes, the ALM, benchmarks, and GPQA. And across the board, SkillOS achieved up to a 9.8% relative performance improvement.
Wow.
And it took 6.0% fewer interaction steps compared to strong memory-based baselines like Expel.
For you listening, just think about what 6% fewer interaction steps means in production. If you are deploying agents at scale, fewer API calls across millions of autonomous runs translates directly to massive savings on inference costs.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just getting better at solving tasks, it's getting significantly cheaper and faster at executing them.
So here's where it gets really interesting to me. Those benchmarks bring up a glaring mismatch. You mentioned they trained the curator on Qwen 3.8b.
Right, a tiny model by today's standards.
Yeah. But ALF World and AME usually require massive frontier models to get high success rates. How is an 8B model pulling this off?
Because it's generalizing to completely different models. In the paper, they took this 8B curator and successfully used it to guide Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Wait, really? A tiny open-weight model guiding a massive proprietary one?
Yes, and Gemini 3.1 Flashlight as well. The cross-model generalization proves that the skill curation policy is genuinely decoupled from the executor's raw reasoning capability.
That is huge.
The AP model doesn't need to know how to solve advanced algebra. It just needs to learn the fundamental logic of organizing procedural memory.
So it learns how to extract a workflow, format it into Markdown, and merge duplicate files.
Exactly. And that organizational logic transfers seamlessly to a state-of-the-art frontier model. Though we do need to look at the data breakdown, because the performance gains are noticeably larger on the agentic tasks.
You mean ALF World and WebShop?
Right. They saw way bigger gains there than on the single-turn reasoning tasks like AME.
Why the disparity? Is it just that math problems are less reliant on sequential workflow memory?
Basically.
Because I'm thinking solving a math problem doesn't really require a when not to use section in the same way that navigating a simulated house does.
That's spot on. Agentic environments naturally expose procedural regularities. Navigating a website involves recurring sequential steps, like clicking a search bar, that are perfectly suited for reusable markdown skills.
Right, whereas single-turn reasoning relies heavily on the model's internal parametric knowledge.
And complex logical deduction. It is significantly harder to encapsulate how to do advanced combinatorics into a simple text file. SkillOS still helped by caching problem-solving templates, but the ceiling for improvement is lower.
That makes total sense. Knowing it scores well is great, but honestly, looking inside the black box at how the curator changes its behavior over the RL training is the best part.
It reveals exactly what the RL actually achieved.
Yeah, the paper provides data on the learning behavior of skill operations over time. And early in training, the curator just blindly relies on insert skill.
It just hoards data.
It's basically junior developer energy. You know, when you first learn to code, you haven't learned the cost of technical debt. So you just copy-paste every single Stack Overflow answer into a massive utility file.
Hoping one of them works. It is the exact same dynamic. The system begins by hoarding experiences because the policy hasn't yet felt the sting of the compactness penalty.
It hasn't learned the value of refinement yet.
Exactly. But as training progresses, that insertion rate drops off an absolute cliff, and update skill completely dominates the policy.
It shifts from hoarding to consolidating.
Yep. Deletions remain a small fraction throughout, implying the model prefers to fix broken knowledge rather than discard it. But updates becoming the primary mechanism shows a really mature curation strategy.
And it's not just the operations that change, right? The actual markdown files themselves evolve.
This raises a really important question about emergent meta skills. Early on, the skills were highly task-specific, like how to find a teal fitness strap. But as the update operation took over, those skills evolved into generalized meta-strategies. New conceptual sections literally emerged in the markdown files.
Like what?
Things like systematic search, failure recovery, and alternative workflows. By the end of training, over 50% of the skills in the repository have become state verification skills.
Wait, state verification? I want to pause on that. That is incredible.
It really is.
It goes from, here is how I click the buy button, to, here is how I mathematically verified that the state of the environment actually changed after I click the button.
It's a massive leap in cognitive sophistication.
It's moving from blind execution to reflective evaluation. And it's all happening autonomously within simple text files managed by an 8B model.
This transition from rigid task memory to fluid, high-level meta-strategies definitely points to the future of agentic architecture.
The repository becomes a playbook for how to think about failure.
Exactly. But of course, we do have to discuss the limitations and future directions explicitly mentioned in the paper.
Right, because for all this sophistication, the executor's retrieval mechanism is still pretty basic.
It is just doing a static BM25 lookup.
Taking the user's prompt, searching the repo once, grabbing the top K results, and blindly trusting them.
Yeah, BM25 is cheap and works well enough for these benchmarks, but it's fundamentally passive. As the skill repo grows over months of continuous deployment to encompass thousands of complex skills,
That passive lookup is going to become a catastrophic bottleneck.
keyword matching simply won't cut it when you have 50 different meta strategies for failure recovery based on subtle context clues.
So what's the solution?
The researchers point out that the next major frontier is agentic search over experiential memory.
Okay, so instead of a single background query, the agent actively explores its own brain.
Yes, the agent would actively issue multiple queries, read summaries of its own curated skills, reformulate those queries based on what it finds, and dynamically decide what to surface.
All before it ever takes a step in the actual environment. That's wild. It creates its own memory as an environment to be navigated.
It transforms memory access into a primary intelligent action powered by the LLM itself.
Which leaves me with this final thought for you listening to mull over. We've seen that a tiny 8B model can use RL to perfectly curate its own procedural memory, creating advanced meta strategies purely from raw experience.
And feeding them to massive models.
Right. So if this external curation process continues to improve, at what point does this external skill repo become a better, more generalized reasoning engine than the foundational weights of the LLM itself?
It's a great question.
Could the future of AI simply be tiny, efficient executors attached to massive, self-evolving markdown libraries of experience? It completely flips how we think about scaling intelligence. It might not be about bigger models, it might just be about better memories.
A fascinating perspective.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the source material. Keep exploring the research, and we'll see you next time.